Avalon from Chromeo.
And I'm Peace Network.
And you are watching
Mind Massage.
A lot of you guys know us as the Funklords, originally from Montreal, Canada. And we've been making music together for, I want to say, like
15 to 16 years.
Yeah, 15, 16 years. What we want to do today is go back in time and talk about the origins of our friendship and our band, Chromeo, and tell you guys a couple of stories.
Follow us through our story.
Okay, so we're going to talk about where we met, which is our high school.
In Montreal.
But it was actually a French lycée. My mom is from Morocco. Peace parents are from Lebanon, so they're both former French colonies. So a lot of people from former French colonies in Canada would send their kids to this French lycée called Collège Stanislas.
I actually started my life in lycées abroad in Lebanon, and that's why I had to carry on
In Canada.
in Canada.
Oh, that's good. He accepted me in his band, and that's how we became inseparable best friends. I was 15 and he was 16. Yeah. So I was on guitar and he was on bass and we played in band. What?
I was started on guitar.
Oh yeah.
He came in band. He was a better guitar player than me. I got demoted to bass. He plays the guitar.
That's right.
So in high school, as if you're 1 year apart, it's a huge amount. And also if you're in a different group,
Different social circles.
you're also worlds apart. I was more of a hip-hop. I grew up listening to hip-hop mostly. Dave was more into rock. And he grew up with rock and roll and he played guitar. And we kind of met up in the band, but we still had some sort of affiliation to our respective groups. I was like, what is this rock kid? What does he want with his long hair?
But then I think it lasted about 2 weeks.
And then music brought us together.
That's good.
Can't do anything with this.
You were working different jobs. You were doing some accounting stuff, but you were also selling these things, right?
I was selling didgeridoos out of the trunk of my RAV4.
So you had a RAV4, yeah.
I was importing the wood from Australia, barking it out, painting it, varnishing it, and then selling it.
Being a whole didgeridoo startup before there were even startups.
And I was also selling gold fronts.
You were also videotaping every single Seinfeld episode.
Pausing for every commercial. So I would cut the commercials out manually as I was watching the shows. VHS tapes.
Yes. We figured out there was like a white space in the music world. There was all kinds of electronic music, but no electronic music referenced the music that you hear in all the weddings and all the bar mitzvahs and all the bat mitzvah, which is, kind of like Michael Jackson, Cameo, Kool and the Gang, even like New Edition, Zapp, Roger Troutman. So we were like, wait a minute, this kind of funky electronic 80s music is played at every function, but not a lot of people, basically nobody's paying tribute to it. And that's how we got the idea to start Chromeo. Pete, do you remember how we came up with the name Chromeo?
I think you just called me one morning. That's right. You came up with it.
Yeah.
And you're like, how is this combination not already existing anywhere on the planet? I looked up if it was taken somewhere. One guy on some weird car.
A Filipino car message board, yes.
And his name was Chromio_82. And I was like, okay, that's the only thing out there.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
What else you got in there, Pete?
Oh, this is my favorite thing ever.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to do this slowly, by the way. I think we can make it beat. Hold on.
So, what I remember from our first tours is having to pack the whole show in a Toyota RAV4, top to bottom, side to side. Not 1 inch of that car was free.
But actually, that kind of trained you because now when we tour, even though there's a truck and a trailer and a tour bus,
Tetris Master.
you're a Tetris master. You use the same approach.
Yeah. We slept in share hotel rooms. Our budget limit was $85 a night. And many a times we didn't get 2 beds. We had 1 bed.
That's correct.
And we had a system to separate the middle of the bed.
There had to be a thick blanket.
Yeah. We would call it the sausage.
The sausage, ironically. And we would put that in the middle of the bed so that there would be no contact between us while we slept. We both suffer from insomnia, so we really hope this helps you fall asleep. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We should talk about when things picked up for us a little bit and we started crushing. I had spent a year abroad in France. That was definitely putting a strain on our relationship. But while I was over there, we completed our second album, Fancy for Work. And we had no idea, but people were really digging the songs on the internet and sharing them on blogs and stuff. When we came back, both came back to the US and started a tour in the summer of 2007, all of a sudden, there were no longer empty rooms. The venues were full and people were partying like crazy. And that's when we started playing sold out shows and festivals. And I think we'll never forget that moment because it was such a drastic change from like the 3 years of schlepping and playing in front of 4 people. And then the Chromio Funk party train officially began.
Yeah.
Alright, so if there's one piece of advice that I wish somebody told us in the early days of Chromio, it is that it's a marathon and not a sprint. In other words, you really have to keep like the big picture in mind, and sometimes like it's about enduring through the rough moments and looking at your growth in the long term over years and years. Sometimes ASMR's always been like this kind of slow build. Um, and even to this day, we have like frustrating moments where we wish things would happen differently or faster, but you just gotta keep like the big picture in mind and like the overall continuity in mind and stay true to yourself. Well, B, how did you enjoy your first ASMR experience?
Well, my first experience was great, and I might give this a try because I do have a lot of insomnia.
Yeah.
I've had it for years, and maybe this is gonna help.
We'd love to stay here longer, but unfortunately we have to go to the studio. Thank you so much for having us on my